the YouTube later. Can you hear me? What I just said just now? Please use timeline to explain your history. Okay, right. Next.
The Gashuzukuri is constructed like hands in prayer as the steep thatched roof resemble the hand of Buddhism pressed together in prayer. The roof design that was inspired from the hand Buddhist version.
Can you show any image which describe this design concept?
The roof part.
Yeah, the one that you are seeing about the monk's hands. Alright, so perhaps you can use this diagram, but you need to explain the one that you have said before for the design concept. Okay.
As for the disciple, what the point, but the principle that I found yet was balance, balance symmetry. House, I think it have symmetry and asymmetry. The front part and the back part. Because front part was very balanced in symmetry, but for the back part it have entrance and it looks like balance asymmetry.
Okay. What about unity? You stated that unity in terms of what?
In terms of for the repetition, there are a lot of columns quickly, and lastly is hierarchy in terms of
In terms of what?
spaces within the building. Which different part of the building have different example,
Different spaces in terms of?
space.
I mean, is it the scale? Is it the size of the, or is it the height of each space? For instance, there are leveling and so on.
Space different according to the function.
No, how to explain the hierarchy for the spaces? In terms of what? Are you talking about the sizes of the spaces, or if you can see from the section, perhaps there is height differences between one space to another using leveling? That one, please, you please check later. Okay, because you are the one who talk about the hierarchy here, so I want to know what kind of hierarchy are you talking about? Are you okay, Sami? Okay.
Next, for the construction.
Are they using this kind of gasho roof? Sami, can you hear me? Sorry?
My internet problem.
Is it lagging?
Okay.
Okay, please check whether the Shara, apa nama dia? This house is using this kind of roof. Okay, and then when you talk about the construction, are you going to talk about the structure as well? Construction and structure, is it?
Part is more to construction general.
Construction in general. Okay, but if you are talking about construction, usually you also will be talk about this structure as well, because you were talking about the gastro roof is uh, put on top of this what do you call that, all this timber construction, right?
Doctor, that part will be in my part, but this part, Shami, what is the general one?
Yours is going to be talking about what? Construction and structure, is it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking. I always ask you how do you distribute the task. Okay, please make sure that there is no redundancy.
Okay. We distribute in like this.
Doctor.
General
Yeah.
construction. What does
Yes,
it mean by general construction?
Means like the very general one, I think.
ya Doctor. No, actually, can I speak in Malay, Doctor? Sorry.
Boleh.
Okay, sebenarnya saya yang buat yang ni, then sebenarnya sebabnya saya ingat history and description, design concept, sikit saja dia punya info. So nak bagi sama banyak cari, dan saya letak untuk orang first tu dia cari general construction. Tapi nanti kalau kata nak compose for the final, the general construction will be moved to the structure part, including with the other information.
But the thing is, this one is individual work, right? So Syamil is
Yes.
going to put this one in his presentation box later. So perhaps
So I'm sorry.
that's why you need to be very clear what is the general construction and construction process and method, and why can't it be combined?
Okay.
Please try to avoid redundancy. Although this one is individual work, but we will read it as a group work. Okay, but marks will be based on your individual pots later. So I think it's okay. We can just go through everything first, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
Okay.
Doctor.
Syami boleh dengar tak? Can you hear us? Or it's lagging?
Sikit je.
Okay, it's okay. After this, I'll share this discussion in my YouTube, and then I just give you the link. Okay. Um. Okay, so you are talking about the construction. The first one is the roof construction, and then how about this one? This one is talking about okay. This one is talking about the construction of the floor, is it? The floor and the walls.
Actually, I'm not sure what kind of construction sebab I tengok yang ada part-part lain diorang dah buat kan.
Okay. And then
Sebab
next.
macam letak je construction yang general. Generic.
Okay, the third one, the Gashozukuri, what is it? What is it? Structure which has
The first floor. The attic space.
this one is more on the construction process, is it? Because you were talking about how to assemble the things and so on. But after this, perhaps JV will talk about the construction in details. I mean, detailings and so on, right? and then the structure. But yours is more on the construction process. Am I right?
I think we have overlapping parts. We need to figure it out later.
Ataupun or what you can do is perhaps you just tabulate everything first and then put proper topics for that so that it won't be overlapping. For instance, this one is instead of talking about general construction, perhaps that's why I'm asking you, are you talking about the construction process? So if you are talking about construction process, it is to show how the thing is constructed. Okay, but perhaps JV after this you are going to talk about the detailings of the construction and how does one part is connected to the other on the material selection and so on. Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
We go through
Okay,
everything first.
that's good.
Alright. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
doctor.
thanks.
Hmm. Shami, what else do you have? Is that all?
For model ada.
Sorry.
Materials for model.
Materials for model. Okay. Okay. What do you plan for your physical model?
Yes, trying to do
Can you get all these things? Are you using balsa wood? Is it?
I have baki balsa wood from my earlier project.
Okay. So you're using. How about the roof?
Cardboard. This part, sure yet. It looks like furry, kinda like try to figure out later.
So which part of the house that you are going to build for your physical model? Is it everything?
Yeah, maybe
You can just choose
specific,
one part of the overall house actually. For instance, you are talking about the construction, right? So please find out which area which we can see the overall construction of the house, for instance, or you want to focus more on the construction of the roof at the frontage, for instance.
if I macam nak buat semua kan, do I have to focus in interior as well?
Sorry.
Nak buat macam like complete, I have
Uh-huh.
to maintain on the interior as well.
If you want to do, you want to do the whole house, eh? If you want to do the whole house, it can be done, but it will be too heavy for you because you are focusing on this construction, right? So, so you can do the whole house, but preferably you can only choose one part of the house. For instance, you're only taking the facade, and then you want to show this section of the roof, for instance. So you just cut the section, and so that the structure of the roof can be exposed. Okay, either one. But we only ask you to do one part of the building. Faham tak, Syami?
Faham.
Okay. So it's okay. So you already have your material with you. So it's okay. And perhaps you want to I see up to for the atap for this for the roofing. What kind of materials that you are going to use later?
Any
Can you get the materials?
cardboard would be
Is it something like the pump like nipah rembia and so on? Is it?
like
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so you need to find the proper materials for this to cover the roof. Okay, Shami. Shami.
kata-kata.
How about the site plan? Who are going to cover the site plan? You have already shown your location plan, key plan. What about the site plan? Can you get the site plan?
Yes, okay. We already have the site plan.
Where is it?
This site plan,
This one is key plan. No, the first one is key plan. The second one is location plan. Where's your site plan? Site plan, you should show the roof on the side. Okay. Try to figure out first because the one like Abi presented this morning, we have the moss, and then the moss is surrounded by the river, and then there are also additional buildings around the moss, and also we have the community building around it. So yours, perhaps it is only surrounded by the greeneries, is it? Or there, or any
single house.
any house nearby?
Yeah, I think after the
Okay.
renovation, I'm not sure.
So can you get the site plan?
We are not sure we can get the site plan or not because we can find is the ground floor plan and the some of the section and elevation only. The last time doctor asked us to find the first floor plan, we also cannot find it actually.
How about the elevation? Did they show any surrounding building?
No, just this building only for the elevation. Like this.
Alright. How about the one that you have shown? Uh, can you go to the left side of the screen? Okay, okay, sorry. Bawah lagi. This one, where is it? Jap, jap, jap. How do I counting this one? What is this? This one?
Eh,
This one. Where is it? Is it the topography of that area?
This one is a former location of the building.
Okay, okay. So this one is showing the topography, right? So
Yes.
it is situated in between the hills, is it? This one, these two.
Yes, I know only the area, so not particular location.
Okay, so perhaps you need to put some of the descriptions showing that it is located in the hilly area, something like that. Okay,
Okay.
so at least we know the context of this house. Why is it like this? Because it is located near the hills. Is it in the middle of these two hills? This one you have the topography, right? This one is the contour for this the hill, right? Is it located in between?
Yes, in the valley.
So okay lah. At least you get the context. So Shami, these are the things that you need to describe. Although you cannot get the exact site plan, so perhaps you know where's the location of this particular house. Okay, refer to this one. I think this one you can get it from here. These are the hills, and the house is located in the middle, right? This is the houses, right? Is it?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So at least you can just explain in a general, right? Because we want to know the, like we said before, we want to know the location of that particular houses, and then the social culture, what are the owners doing in their daily life and so on. Okay, right? Next. What else? Okay, this one. Shami, done already. Shami, are you done with yours? Alright, next. Next.
Next, I will present.
Okay, Maho.
I will explain about building form, spatial planning, and how vernacular works, massing, spatial arrangement. And first, I will explain about building form. And this building has a triangle roof shape, and the roof is deeply sloped to allow snow to fall naturally from the roof. And the building is large-scale building. The scale of the building is larger than that of a typical Japanese house. This is probably due to the need for a large attic space for sericulture, a large floor area for saltpeter production, and a large living space for a large family. And next, I will talk about spatial arrangement. In winter, the strong monsoon flows along the valley that extends from north to south, so the roof ridge is also made along the valley. This is to reduce the resistance of the winter monsoon and to make it easier to melt the snow on the roof by turning the roof east and west. In addition, thanks to the arrangement, it becomes possible to ventilate and take daylight through windows of the attic room named Ama, where sericulture is conducted. Next, I will talk about Bismuth.
Maho, sorry.
Yes,
You were talking about the spatial arrangement, is it? Usually the
yes,
spatial arrangement, we are talking about the plan layout of these houses. But yours, when you talk about this, the placement of the houses within the community, right?
yes.
I think this one is more on the settlement, not spatial arrangement. Spatial arrangement is already scoped down into the plan layout of the house.
Okay,
Okay, so I think this one you need to rename the topic. It is on the settlement something settlement.
okay, thank you.
Alright? Okay.
Next, please, I will explain how to respond to the climate. In summer, since thatched roofs have moderate gaps, wind can pass through the gaps and keep the air inside clean. In summer, the roof surface can receive the western sun, and the thatched roofs vaporization heat effect can keep the attic cool, and the windows in the attic can be opened to allow breezes from the north and south, thereby protecting the silkworms from the summer heat.
Can
On
you
the
get
other
the
hand,
can you get the images of the windows in the attic?
yes,
Zoom in, I mean, because the one that you have shown, it is very far away, so we cannot really zoom in into the windows. Oh, I mean the one in this one, right? Is it this one? Sorry.
yes,
Ah, you mean in the gable end, is it? This one. This one. You mean this
uh,
one?
this windows.
Okay, alright. Okay.
And
Okay.
in winter, the roof absorbs moisture from the snow and expands, making it difficult for window to enter. Inside, the fire in the house makes it easy for the heat to build up. The entrance has a door that can be opened to the minimum extent. The triangle roof is on the steep slope, so residents do not need to remove snow. Next, please. I will explain about spatial planning.
This is the one that I've talked before because you were talking about the spatial arrangement, right? So this is the spatial, I mean the spaces on the floor plan. Okay.
Okay. And I will explain about these three rooms, day, okuno day, and naijin. These three rooms symbolize the deep faith of the people of Shirakawa village in Shin Buddhism. And day is a room separated from the Buddhism room by a usuma. Is a room of the master and his wife. This is the only room with tatami mat and was used for weddings, funerals, and gatherings. Okuno Day was used as a monk's waiting room, and Naijin is a Buddhism room at the back of the house. In the mornings and evenings, the family would gather together with prayer beads in their hands to worship Shinran Shonin and their ancestors. For Buddhist ceremonies such as Hoonko, the partition was removed and the room became a large hall. And this building uses an architectural style called gable, in which the long side of the large roof and the entrance are in the same direction. Next, about upper floor. On the second floor, young silkworms, which require a lot of work, are grown, and silkworms that have successfully reached adulthood are removed to the upper floor, like this. That's all from me.
Maho, can you show your plan just now? I just want to. Where is the attic? Is it over here?
Attic is second floor.
Or is it over here?
I think
Or is it over there?
the second floor covers the first floor, the whole first floor.
The whole first floor, but it is smaller, right? Because of the roofing.
Yes, but
This one is the main entrance, is it? Where's the main entrance?
right, red triangle shape. Can you see?
Where is it? This one?
Yes. Can you see this here?
Ah, okay. So that one is the entrance.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why you are talking about the gable, and then the entrance is from here. Okay. So for the attics, I think is it this one? What about
Yes.
others? You are doing this one, right? Chevi, Mirza, Shami. Is the attic is located like this? Is it over here? The attic, the second layer, the first floor plan.
think saya rasa daripada tiang yang kedua tu, sebelah yang tiang besar sikit daripada kolom yang kedua.
This one.
Kolom yang kecil dah ada left right.
You tak boleh conteng eh?
Tak boleh, saya tak boleh. Saya tak control.
I just want to understand more about this house. Is it from here?
I think
Sebab tu macam terlalu kecil. Dia ada 2 floor. It has 2 floor. Upper floor.
I think here.
This one?
Okay.
Betul lah tadi. Okay. Just want to, although you cannot get the first floor plan, at least you know where is the attic is situated and how does it been supported. Okay. If let's say it is here and then this one is already this, you have the structure of the roof, right? Over there,
Yes.
over here. Okay. So at least you understand about this one. Although you cannot get the first floor plan, but these are the things that you need to understand, right?
Okay, doctor.
All right, and it is good if you can. Are you going to put it in using SketchUp after this?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
doctor.
if you are going to use the SketchUp and then you can just cut this. You can just cut your plan and then you can also get this first floor plan. Do you understand me? Do you
Okay.
understand?
Yeah, understand.
So you
Doctor.
can get this kind of floor plan, okay? And then it
Okay.
is easier. But is that really so? How about the staircases? The staircase. This one, the staircase is located over here, right? So is this like
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to check how does this staircases is connected to the first floor plan, right? It's okay because you haven't done your SketchUp yet, so perhaps it is quite confusing, right? Okay. What else do you have? So Maho is talking about the spatial planning. I think the first one that you need to talk about is the settlement. So you have done it, all right? And
Okay.
then can you get all this function of the room, not only the 3 rooms only? For instance,
Okay.
this one you are talking only 3 rooms, right? Symbolize the deep faith of the people. What about the rest of the spaces?
I wrote down the briefing explanation, but later I will
Uh,
from inside
I think
and
you need to add on not only the 3 rooms only. For instance, I want to know about the dirt floor. What does it mean? Is it the one that they are using for washing clothes and so on? What is the dirt floor? Doma,
Oh.
doji. What is that?
this one.
Doji, doma, dirt floor. What is that? Why is it called as dirt floor?
Doji is kind of made of
Is it something like they wear shoes and then they put their shoes at the doji there, Maho?
yes.
So they call it dirt floor.
Mm-hmm. So that is interesting. That's why we need to know the function of each space. Okay. I'm not sure is in the Japanese because you are really Japanese is very clean and very the most important things in your life perhaps the cleanliness, right? Maho.
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
Japanese is very strict on this cleanliness. That's why they have this dirt floor. So the dirt that is coming from outside be cannot enter the whole house, for instance. Is it?
Yeah.
So what you can do is perhaps you want to stress more on the Japanese culture, Japanese belief, something like that, because it is related to the daily activities and so on, and it is directly related to the all the spaces.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, for instance, how do they put the horses over there? Are the horses is coming from the main entrance, or do you have any other door? for the horses. I'm not sure. You are talking. It stated that Maya is a place to keep horses.
Yes,
So how do the horses enter the house?
I'm not sure, but the
I
door,
think there is a sliding door.
Where is it?
The Maya, the left, yes.
Okay, so you need to please check. Let's see. Is it over here? Is it?
I think maybe
So you need to check, Maho.
okay,
So
we will
because
check
this
on
one,
the elevation.
so Maho, you please check the images or the elevation and so on, because this one is for the owners of the house, right? For the human. So they enter from here. Is it they are going to use this entrance and then go over here?
yeah,
Okay, alright. So they just put their shoes over here and then they enter the house. What about Minja? A place to do water work. Is it related to the kitchen?
yes,
Okay. So they cook their meals over here, is it?
yes,
Alright. And then living room, guest room. So please check. Please, I think you need to research more on this one. Not only talking about this one is very simplistic, right? But please research more on this one. All
okay,
of the spaces and their activities. Why do they need to put the horses over here? And why do they need to breed a horse? Why is it important for them to have a horse instead of they can breed cows and so on, but they prefer to keep horses? How does it related to their daily activities? Okay, Maho?
okay, doctor,
Alright. So this one is very interesting, but you need to research more so that you can get all the information. Right. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Right. Next. Maho is done, right?
Yes,
Okay. So just you need to add on this the things that I have mentioned before. Okay. Next.
So for my part, I am going to do the structure and construction. So this is my planning composition. Just a very simple one, include the structure and construction method, types of flashing and labels, and I will add a exploded axonometric here later on. And so first of all, I would like to talk about the structure and construction method first. So I will show the construction methods step by step using the axonal diagram later on here at this part. So the first one, foundation construction. So as you can see, this foundation, they use the natural stones. They use the natural stones as local materials. They use it for the foundation, and then they connect it with the timber columns or the beams to support the large roof and accumulated snow. And then the second one, after they build the foundation, they will build the beam, and then they connect it with the timber column. And also, as you can see in this picture, it is attic space under, yeah, let me zoom in a bit. Okay, there is the space under here, and then they will like dig a hole to for this salt pitter, which called ama, purpose at underground. So salt pitter, I believe that Maho has mentioned it last week. It is sort of mineral that made by fermenting hay, urine of people and horses. And then
What is
after
it
that,
for? Sorry.
this is sort of mineral.
What they are using the urine of people and horses.
Yeah,
Is
they
that to strengthen the thing? Is it?
no, I think it's just waste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they put it under the house like this.
So what do they do with this thing?
I just a space to keep the urine of people and horses, everything.
How do they control the smell of the thing?
Because it's very deep, so I think it's okay.
Okay. All right. Because you are talking about the beam connection, and I'm not sure why the thing is there.
Oh, okay, I will research it after that. Okay, and then
Because you need to relate back to your topic, the beam connection.
oh
But the thing is there, but it is under the topic of beam connection. That's why I want to know.
okay,
That's why I'm asking. Is that because of the strength of the things, which help the beam connection and so on? If it is
okay.
not related, perhaps you can do some other topics and then just put it somewhere else.
I think it's suitable to put in the space planning, right?
Mm-mm.
Space arrangement. Okay.
Because suddenly it is there when you are talking about the construction, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, doctor. Okay, so after that, they build the beam, and then they will build the roof trusses. So the roof, as Shami said just now, it creates 60-degree slope, and then it's actually different from the other house because the upper part and the lower part is clearly separated. So it's a separate structure. And then after that, they will build the flooring finishes. So the timber floor joists added and covered by the tatami as finishes. And then after
Okay,
that,
okay. Sorry. I think the way you rearrange, the way you arrange the things. For instance, usually we will start with the flooring and then the beam and then the opening and then the last one is the roof, or vice
oh,
versa. Okay, but yours
okay,
is here and there. Suddenly you're talking about the roof, which should be upper, right? And then suddenly flooring. So perhaps let's see it as a vertical or see it as an elevation. For instance, do you do you understand what I mean?
uh,
For instance, you talk about the roof first, and
uh-huh,
then the second one you talk about the opening, and then the last one you are talking about the flooring. It's better that way, so that
oh,
we can know the flow of this structure, the construction. If
okay,
not,
can,
if not, you are talking suddenly you are talking about this one, and then you go here, and then you back to the floor. Okay, so it's confusing, right?
okay,
So please rearrange this thing, right?
okay, can. Okay, then after that, for the vertical installation, the walls, openings such as door, windows, and the the doors, windows. And then after that, the last one, they will finally added this thatching roof installation. This is the final one. And then as they mentioned just now, thatching roof is a traditional roofing. So it covered with the thatch. So it's excellent for insulation when dry and compact. So the next one is types of flashing. They use several types of flashing to connect the timber and timber. So the first one, diagonal lashing. So this is the example. In the Japanese Mark II square lashing, also can see in the picture that they build the roof, they connect the timber of the roof. And then for the square lashing, yeah, this is the example. So later on, I will do the exploded here, and then I label it out for the uh, lashing and also con the the lashing here. And for the material, I'm not sure is it in my part, or because we have a overlay problem?
I think you better give it to Shami.
Shami, right?
Because
Okay.
he is still lacking of things to explain, I think. So
Okay.
Shami, perhaps you are already into details. You are going to do all the detailings, right? Because you are talking about how to tie all the beams and how to tie all the floor to the roof and so on. So you are going to do the detailings, and Shami will cover on the construction process, the one that I mentioned before this on the most this morning, right? So how do they construct things? Are they using the human? I mean, all the communities are doing it like gotong royong, something like that. Okay. So Shami will cover on the construction process and also the materials, and then you are going to uh, make it more details. This one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But after this, you need to sit down with your groups and then please redistribute. Please make sure that everybody get the balance thing to be put in their presentation boards.
Okay, no problem, Doctor.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's all from me. And then the lower part, I will put the photo of model later on.
Okay. What other things other than this one on the detailing part? Is there any ornamentation
I think, there is
or is there anything which is related to the Buddhism? I think the the religion is Buddhist, is it? Or
yes.
okay. Is there any motif or pattern or something which is put in a specific place? For instance, there are Buddhism influences and so on. Is there any?
For what I have researched, there is not no the other things that relate to Buddhist.
In
Just
terms of the
very
architecture?
uh
Okay. How about the things like uh, the things that they use in order to construct this building? The one like the masjid Telok Manuk before this, they use chisel, hammer,
the
and
tools
then the tools, and also how do they do the tanggam? Oh, they are not using any nails, right? They are only using the lashing, is it?
yes.
Is there any tongue and what is it? Tanggam?
I
Tongue
think
and
got
slot?
at
Tongue and
the
groove, Doctor.
Right.
Tongue and groove. Okay, sorry. Is there any tongue and groove used in this kind of building?
in the staircase, I think got
So you need to you need to put it in your presentation board later.
okay.
Okay,
Can.
please don't forget. So anything, I think you just do some more research on this one, and then just add on wherever it is applicable, right? But
Okay,
please
can.
differentiate your part with Shahami's part, right?
Okay, Doctor.
Mm.
So that's all for me.
And
Thank you.
perhaps the one that the lesson that you put is only how to connect the timber, right? How about how they put the roof?
Oh, with the touch, right?
Uh-uh. How do
Okay, I will
they do
find
it?
it later.
So anything which is regarding, oh, I want to know about more about the flooring. You were talking about the stones, right? So
Yeah.
how do they determine what is the height of this building? So there are some more gap in between, is it? It is not
Um,
it is not really on the land, okay, but it has some gap, isn't it?
yeah, it has some gap, but uh,
Why
we
do
will-
why do they need this gap in between? Because it is very small gap.
in for my research, because they want to like uh for the salt peter,
Is it?
for a gap for this mineral to put the urine, the urine of people and the horses one also. So they want to have a gap.
So how do they put all those things? Or is it a hole on the flooring?
Um, I think so.
Maho, do you know? Do you know how do they put all those things over there?
Sorry.
This this thing. How do they use this one? Is it they just open one part of this beep?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so Chevi, this is your task, Chevi.
Okay, can,
How
doctor.
they put all this thing and why does they need this one? Okay, and then how do they control the orders, the bad orders from this thing
Okay,
not to enter their house and so on, correct?
okay.
How about the climatic consideration? Is there anyone in your group who has covered the thing? I think Maho just now, right? Climatic consideration, you were talking about the four season.
Yes.
What was the topic? How do you control the climate? Is it how to respond? Okay, okay, okay. All right. So it's okay. All right. Are you done, JV?
Yeah, doctor.
All right. So just add on the ones that I highlighted.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
All right.
Hello. Okay, so for now, I'm presenting about the vertical and horizontal element in of this house. But actually, I'm also repeating the information of the others. So, is it okay, doctor?
What are the things that haven't been mentioned?
I think the part of roof,
The part of
part of
roof.
roof, the
Is
spray
it
layer, spray layer, spray layer. That is the first layer to construct the roof. After thereafter,
is there any renovation done?
no, I think this is the tradition method.
Okay.
So you can see the Kona Bali is the iconic theme in this house.
Okay, okay. The one that you have shown on the right side is the opening, right? You have the doors and windows.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you can talk about it. Doors, windows, and there are several kind of windows, right? The one that you have in the attics and the one that you have on the walls. Is it the same window?
Uh, I yes, I think
Is it? And you also have the main entrance for the human, and then you also have entrance for this horse, right?
yes.
So okay, okay, all right. So you can talk about it, and then
But
mm,
I cannot find the detail, the specific type or design of uh, door or window. But I just can find the concept or the style window that the tradition use, which is lattice frame.
okay,
And for the open register, because I think if I just worry if the others not find the structure construction method, so I com- just saya cuba berpendapat lah buat saya rasa dia guna I think it use open register and mortar stain and joinery for the plate, and how it connects to the girder is by through the middle lap having joint.
how about the material? I think Jeff is you are covering on the materials, right? Oh, sorry, you're going to give it to Shami, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
doctor.
perhaps Shami will talk about what kind of timber, because this one is located beside the hills and so on, beside the forest and so on, so they can get the local timber kind of timber, Japanese timber, for instance. So perhaps you can find it, research more about it, Shami. Okay. Okay. What else, Mirza?
And I think for the horizontal plane diagram, but no, yes. So for the horizontal plane diagram, I think the uniqueness of this plane or this flooring plane is about the opening on the floor. There is not common use in any tradition house. There's a big the function is to make the heat and smoke rise up to the roof due to the irori, a Japanese traditional fireplace at the ground floor. And I think for the hierarchy that Shahmi has mentioned, we can see the lower part, the lower floor is the dirt floor, and then the upper, maybe it when I see in the plan, I think that is the step. So it has one step. So the upper floor, it consists of living room, a room, Buddhist altar, bedroom, which is divided by partition called shoji. So shoji is used in the indoor space to divide any space in the house instead of use the wall. So it just use the shoji to divide.
Okay.
And what is shoji, we can see at the next page.
Why is it not moving? Okay.
Shoji. Okay, shoji is a history and cultural features in this house, which is shoji is door or room or divider that's use of Latin form. And sorry, I can see this.
I
Shoji,
think in Japanese culture,
yes,
the space arrangement is also related with the size of the tatami mat.
yes, but not overall space. Use the tatami mat.
Okay. So the one that you have shown about the anthropometric on
Yes,
the right side, it is because of the tatami mat, right?
yes.
All right. Okay. So this one is it a door?
Uh,
Is it the door and the window?
where that one? Which?
Okay, that's why I'm asking. Is it the same? The window on the attics and the window that you have on the lower level.
I think it's same. It use the lattice frame, but the dimension is different.
Okay, but you
And
can just extract it differently.
okay, and it's shoji with vertical moving section. I think that is the types of the shoji of window that our building use, our house use.
Okay. Okay, what else?
And the tatami mats just tells about the discipline, maybe discipline of the space at the right side the picture, so we can see the discipline, how Japanese tetapkan.
Okay.
I think that's all.
What tadi apa? It's okay. Okay. This one is Mirza. What else? We have okay. Everybody has already presented, right?
Yes.
How about the rituals, the custom, the belief? Who are going to cover this one? Is it Mahu? Mahu, you need to cover this one, right? On the ritual and then the daily activities because it is related to the spatial arrangement. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. And then Mirza, I think you need to cover not only you are not only having one door, right? Because the door for the human being is not the same as the horse area, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So try to cover on this opening of this opening. And then the one that you have windows on top of the attics and also the windows that you have on the lower level is also different. Okay.
Okay.
And then the discipline of space, I think how about specific spaces, for instance kitchen and so on, how do they assemble the space? For instance, how do they cook and
They
why does
uh and yeah, I think what I've researched, the tatami just use for the specific room, maybe just one or two room that have the tatami mat, flooring, just to as a reading or resting place. But for the kitchen, they use the dirt floor, and to how to cook, they will use the fireplace at the middle of the house.
okay? And then another one for doors and windows, because you are having different kind of doors and windows, right?
Yes.
So even the doors and windows too, you need to explain more. For instance, why does this kind of doors is used at this specific area, and what kind of windows that they need to put in the attic? Is it a bigger window or a smaller window for the attic? Because it will be related to the snow things and so on, right?
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
kalau so for the model,
hmm.
so doktor prefer saya buat model tingkap.
Okay. That's why I'm asking you, which part are
Oh,
you going to focus after this? Are you going to take the facade only? Because facade you have everything. You have these windows on the attic and then you have windows on the lower level and you also can get the main entrance and also you can get the house entrance, for instance. Okay? So not you don't have to specifically do the whole house. You can just take a part of it which is more
oh,
related to your topic. Okay, try to figure
okay.
out where is the placement of all these things that you have presented, and then make sure that it is related to your model after this.
Good.
Okay, all right. It's okay. I think you need to reset back in your group and then try to distribute the task accordingly. Okay. I think this morning, the one that Teluk Manuk, Masjid Teluk Manuk tu, it is it is they have covered a lot of things. Perhaps you can learn something about it. You haven't talked about the site plan, the context, right? And then the ritual, the custom that are the things that are still missing. Okay, so please research more and then try to figure out who are going to do this task. Okay, boleh?
Okay, doctor.
Alright. Okay, it's okay. You can just sit back and discuss again with your group members. Alright, thank you. And we have the last group.
Can you see the slide, Doctor?
Yes.
Okay. Curly.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, okay.
Good afternoon, Dr. Fat and everyone. I am Colleen. Today we are going to share our further research based on last week's creep. So please feel free to ask us if you have any question or confusion. This is our content of this presentation.
Alexa.
First of all, I would like to roughly sharing our work distribution. For me, I will cover the first board, and the theme is Kedah Traditional Malay House. Diva will take on the second board, which we need to present the spatial planning, arrangement, vernacular, and so on. And next slide, thank you. And the third board will be prepared by Amir, who who need to detail out the roof, floor, and uh, ornament, ornaments detail. And the fourth board will be prepared by Hasmi. He will sharing more information about the detail of wall, window, door, staircase, and so on. So any blank will have some add-on. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay, and next I would like to deeper discuss my information that I found like this week based on last week creep, which I will like to compose in my first board later. So next slide, please. So we'll shortly review Rumah Ejen Nasbi is our this project Malay traditional house is from Kampung Pantai Johor, Alor Serta Kedah. Basically, Kampung Pantai Johor is surrounded by paddy field that I shown in this picture that I found in Google Map. And okay, next please, thank you. For the further classification, the area was populated with Chinese whom established the business, Siamese and Malay majority practicing agriculture, and mainly in the rice field since 1960. So the high population of Malays formed a Malay community at that because most of the Malay house in Kedah were found around the paddy field, especially our Rumah Ejen Nazim. Okay.
How
Besides
do
that,
you get this one?
I get this one from the research that they done in their
Measure drawing.
immersion drawing, and I also found in another website that showed in that 1960 their economy is like this one.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
this one is taken from 1960s. So I wonder
yeah,
how do they get all this demographic? Is there any references that they have put there?
yeah. They also got something at there, so I found the information from the link, and I also found another information from others in the university.
So you need to put the
The other
references
stuff.
for this one. Because this one is demography, it is very specific, and then also because it is too, I think it is too old, 1960s, alright? So we need to make sure that all the information are correct, and then you need to put the references.
Right. Okay.
Okay, right.
Okay. Then for the besides that, the earliest is in a large percentage, and most of the outdoors, especially youngster, already moved to the city lah for a living. This can be shown in architecture style of their buildings. Most of their buildings are old and in traditional style. Okay, Divya, please.
Is this current or on 1960?
This is current one. In 1960, I didn't find any documentary about this place.
Okay,
Although the
okay,
Google
sorry.
Map
Can I annotate? Okay, this one is based on measure drawing, is it?
Yeah, this one from the magic drawing.
So this one is 1960. Is it
This one I think is current now.
current?
Yeah, current.
So both are current.
Yeah, both are current.
So you need to put like the year 2021. But I don't think it is 2021. Where did they do this one? At what year? During what year? The measure drawing?
Oh,
This one? So you need to put MD the year of their measure drawing. Okay?
right. Okay.
And then how about this one? This one is from the Google
2019. They do at 2019.
2000.
19.
So both are from 2019, is it?
Yeah. The another one is from Google Map, which will take in 2019 lah, I think, or 2021.
So measure drawing is also 2020, 19.
Yeah, the machine drawing is 2019. Then the Google Map one, I don't know. I think it's this year lah, because I take this picture yesterday.
But you need to check because the satellite sometimes they didn't update
Yeah.
the updated one. For instance, they only did it 2012, 2020.
Alright.
So what I want to mention here is only just put the year that you got all this thing. So this
Alright,
one is
okay.
2019. So this one is 2020. Okay.
Okay.
And if it is really helpful if they also have the site plan for 1960. If they have any. Okay.
They have a site plan, but they only do in individual, like this is for the house, only. Yeah.
No context. Is it?
Yeah, no context.
Alright, but the one with no context, if they did it based on 1960, so you just mentioned the date.
Right. Okay.
Because we want to know the development of this particular place. For instance, on the 1960, there is no surrounding building. Okay. For instance, there is still no any buildings over here. And then on 2019, when they do the measure drawing, there are already something over there. And then on 2020, you see all these houses surround the building.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Right. Noted.
Next. Mm.
So based on this picture here, I measure from the Google Map the distance between the Sungai Kedau and the Rumah Encik Nazir is 52.60 meter. And for the reference there, they also say that to prevent the flooding, the base of Rumah Encik Nazim was elevated lah. In addition, this character become one of the vernacular elements in this building.
Okay.
Next, actually, Kelly.
Yeah, next please.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, those was the view and Vitas from Rumah Encik Nazim. This also I take from the measure drawing and that because I try to have some views in Google Meet Google Map. Also, I cannot get it because the view they only like limit the ways and that the street view.
This one is 2020.
Yeah, this one is 2019 from the measure drawing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And from the view, you can see that Encik Nazim neighbor house is almost the same building form and style with the Rumah Encik Nazim. Next, please. Okay, this picture I also take from the measure drawing because I also cannot take from the Google Map. So that I analyze from this table circulation is because once upon a time Encik Nazim, his grandfather was a head of the village, which is Ketua Kampung. So there was some proper path for the visitor since 1964 when the building is built at here.
and all the building is surrounded with the Rumah Encik Nazim. Yeah, that's what I analyzed from this neighborhood circulation. Okay, next please. Okay, for the sensory of the village is very peaceful and calm. So they have a proper park and direct main entrance provide the welcoming sense for people. Somehow the building is made by wood fully merged to the surrounding. Okay, next, thank you. From the next is the history, but I not share too much for the history because last week I already presented. So you can see at here the house is built completely in 1965, and they expand the ground floor in 2003, but then they expanded by using wood material to build up. Do I need to mention this one, doctor?
Sorry?
Do I need to mention up they have the expansion with using the ground floor with using the wooden
Yes, yes. Because
construction?
you are going to do the original one, right? But you need to also mention about the development of the house.
All right, okay. And they changed their ground floor into wood, from wood to concrete in 2015. So the first plan, the first floor remain still stay remain lah. They didn't change any layout.
Can you get the both plan? You can get the both plan, right? On the 2015?
2015?
2015, after the renovation, they have the two level of house, right?
Yeah,
So that's
at 2003 it's the same one. They
Ah.
only change into the concrete, yeah, ground floor.
So, but you still can get the plan, right?
Hmm.
So you need to put the both plan because that one is the extension for 2003. Okay.
Okay, but they only change from wood into concrete. The plan is totally the same one.
But you can still see the cement render, right?
Yeah, same. Oh, so you want to show out two plans is same, but the render is not same lah.
Uh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Can I annotate this one? For instance, for 1964, you have this only one, right? And then for this one, you have already have to plan, right?
Yeah, right.
So this one is also you already have to plan, so you need to show both plan.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Is it 1964 or 65?
1964 they start to build. Then they built this building within 1 year. And 1965 the building is built completely.
So this one 1965 lah.
Okay.
Okay, right. Okay.
Okay. Okay. To let my board information receive more clearly, so I decide to focus in the traditional Malay architecture only. So the rest I didn't touch so too much.
So how do you put all these things? Islamic influence,
Maybe it's
modern.
like a small pop up at there.
Okay.
So yeah, because I don't want they could confuse into my board lah. Direct can receive the information clearly. Sorry. Okay, next please. Thank you. Oh, so I had made some research in Kedah architecture, but not much information to found I can found lah. So besides the Kedah own Malay traditional Malay house lah, the style, the other style also include the Japanese, Thai, and British. But those elements I didn't found in this current house. So I think this house is purely Malay traditional house. Okay, then here is shown for the traditional Malay house, the in Kedah, the element are there. So I think it's totally
But
I found out it's totally the same with the house in our with the Rumah Encik Nazim house is totally the same one.
but the thing is the Kedah architecture. I think you need to research more on this one because the elements of traditional Malay house in Kedah is this is too common for
Yeah, too
all
common.
Malay traditional houses. So what is the specialties of Kedah traditional house? For instance, if you are talking about the Malacca traditional house, we know that the specialties is the open veranda. And then for the Negeri Sembilan traditional house, we have this curve curved roof, and also we have this closed veranda. What about Kedah traditional houses? What are the specialties?
Alright, okay.
Okay, so you need to add on this one because everything is too common over here.
Okay. Alright. Next slide, please.
Okay.
And yang the Kedah architecture they mention lah is the veranda and there is located outside. But I think this one is quite general at all. But I didn't find any much relevant about the Kedah architecture, but I try lah. I try. I will try.
Yes, you should.
Okay. For the builder, there is Encik Hashim bin Lebaidin. They also call he Beliau Tok Wan. He's a expert full-time carpenter who live at Kampong Johor Pantai, and he hold the principle of the manual construction method. So this in Rumah Encik Nazim is totally manual construction. And the one is skilled in observe and analyze surrounding environment. Then this house is almost zero energy efficiency, and they also utilize the natural element and also use the vernacular concept in this house. So the skill and the building knowledge are from their ancestor to Tok Wan until and he built this house until now.
Okay.
So this one is
Curly, I'm just curious, who are going to cover on the history of the house owners and so on? What
me.
is okay? What is the occupation? Who built the
Occupation.
house and so on? The house owner, the status of the house owner, who is she, who is he, and his family and so on.
Oh, this one we also need to cover for the owner. Okay, alright.
Yes, because your topic is in Rumah Encik Nazim.
Okay, alright. I will.
So you are not talking about the common Malay traditional house, right? Not not general Kedah traditional house, right? So you were talking about the Nazim family, okay? And then when you talk about the Encik Nazim family, it has something which is related to his occupation, how many children he have, who 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 is he in the community, the social status and so on.
Because if you want the history of owner is like from his dato, yeah, from grandfather.
Okay, so is there any information about his grandfather?
His grandfather is a head of the village.
That's why that is a most important thing because it is related to the social status of the original owner of this house. So
Yeah,
that's why
I
they
have
have.
mentioned and before this I have mentioned that today, yeah, I have mentioned this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Right. Oh, next please. Okay, for my model making, my scale is like 1 to 50. This is the size of 28 cm to times 50 cm.
Are you going to build the whole house?
Should be that because the whole house is one floor only ma. So I just build out.
What about the rest? The rest of the rest of your colleagues? Which part are they going to take?
I just roughly build the build, but then it's like roughly then I cut half the skeleton structure. Then the rest is detail up this the tangam all the this. Throughout all the for the roof. Mine is like just roughly. I didn't do any tanggam from my building.
So you are showing on this the outlook of the building,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So now I still pending. My work is the exploded axonometry and the structure and non-structure member, the description. That.
Okay. But I think the flow of the presentation, like before this, as I mentioned to the two groups, okay, you need to check back. You are going to start with the general information about the location, the one that you have presented before, and then you need to talk about the owner of the house, the one that you mentioned about the grandfathers and so on. Who is he in that community? Okay, and then after that you go scope down into the house. So before you scope down into the house, you need to talk about the general information about the house first. Okay?
Okay, all right.
Do you guys still have problems with your Miro? I think because the submission will be on the Miro after this.
Okay, after this we will like transfer hold the presentation slide inside the Miro.
So so your Miro is okay already, is it?
I haven't tried yet. We'll try next time.
Need to try earlier before
Okay,
the
all right.
submission. Okay, right.
Oh, this one is my roughly presentation board arrangement lah. First, yeah, I will talk the location, then history, concept, Malay traditional house. Then this one,
This one is what I talk about, the way
yeah.
you read the presentation.
So
Okay.
maybe at here I will add on the owner. Yeah. In the history.
You can put it in the history part.
Yeah,
History
I'll
part
put in
is,
here.
so the history part is talking about the location and also the owner of the house. Sorry, oh,
Okay.
location is somewhere else. Alright, okay.
Okay. Then this one is the axonometry. I will do like this one.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Next, I will pass to my friend. Eva.
Alright.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor.
Happy kali. Alright.
Okay, so I'll talk about the spatial arrangement and also socioculture. Um, about socioculture, so it's all about in this house. I'm gonna focus on um, the mixture of social and also cultural activities in the house. And first of all, it's going to be the intro on how the Malay culture or the tradition works. So this Malay culture is actually focused, the Rumah Encik Nazim's house, especially, they are more focused on social interaction. And it also emphasizes on moral values and also care towards people, as they believe prosperity is derived from nobility and not wealth. So they care about their social lifestyle instead of being wealthy. So next, I'll be like relating and also emphasizing on how these spaces are used to socialize along with the cultural activities. Because these cultural activities or games uh, are actually related to the spatial spaces of the house. So the first one is Batu Selambut. So this game is actually commonly played by women or girls at the Serambi. And then the second one is Tuju Para. So this game is actually played under the slits. And then the next one is Chongka. So this game is actually played at Anjong or even Serambi. And then the next one is Rebut Tiang. So this game is actually played under the stilts with a column as the main tool, where they always fight for a column for them to win.
Is Lubuk Tiang is a traditional Malay games?
Yeah, I saw it in the in the file of the it says like in their house they formalize these kind of games a lot.
Which file?
These four games, like they play this game like in their house. They
Because
do
I
this
think
often.
no, I'm asking because I thought this one is only comes in 1990 something for the rebut tiang. So I'm not sure whether it is considered also as a traditional games.
Oh, it's not old. Okay, doctor, I'll do more research on.
Uh-uh.
I
So just please check on the rebut tiang things because we
okay,
played
doctor.
it. Usually we played it in our school during 1990 something. Okay, so
Okay,
please
doctor.
check on that. Right. So that's why it is important for you to have this all the references. I want to check whether the references are valid.
Okay, doctor. Okay. The next one is about the cultural beliefs. So about the cultural beliefs, in Rumah Encik Nazim, they use the use of odd numbers. So odd numbers are usually used consistently as they believe to follow something significant that resembles like 99 names of Allah, 5 prayers, and also 7 circulations around the Kaaba. So the odd numbers, as you can see, it is also like believed as for the staircase part, it is also believed that people should enter the house with the right leg inside. So they these kind of odd number measurements in their house. And the next one is for the greeting, so which is a part of the customs. And okay, first of all, people with same gender are not they don't shake hands, and then instead they should actually bow by placing their hand on their chest, which means I greet you from my heart. And the next one. So how culture is actually involved in the spatial arrangements of religion. So there is a concept of privacy. So concept of privacy here means the segregation between male and female. So the segregation of spaces uh, also is about being public and also private, which involves the public life and also social life. So public is a place to entertain the non-mahram guest. They are actually considered like non-family members. And then um, a public space also is actually always at the front part of the house, and also it is also focused more on the male members or even the male visitors for the house. And the next one is the private space. It's actually commonly placed at the back of the house, and it is also for the female members, so that there's no interference from the non-mahram, and also to protect from unwanted cases. The next one. So this is the spatial planning before the renovation of the house. So as you can see,
Yeah, sorry. On the spatial arrangement, segregation between female and males, I think you need to add on another most important things in Malay traditional houses, which is the separation between guests and the homeowners.
okay, doctor. Okay.
Okay?
So the separation between the guest and the home. Oh, okay, okay.
I think before you were mentioning about the public life and social life, it is quite broad.
Mm-hmm.
But usually the segregation is between the guests and the homeowners because they can control who can come, who can enter each space. Okay, okay, it's okay. You just show your plan. Okay, right.
Oh, okay, okay, doctor. Wait, doctor.
So after this, you will know. The guests only can enter until which
Oh,
area,
which part? Oh, okay, doctor. Oh,
right?
oh, okay.
Okay, on the spatial planning, can you also mention it? Sorry, label it in English. For instance,
Can
ibu rumah is main house, bilik is
main house.
room, You just
Can
maintain this Malay terms, but
mm-hmm.
you just add on the English term.
Oh, okay, doctor, can, no problem. Okay, so this is the spatial planning, and the explanation is on the next slide. Okay, so the veranda is actually the place. It is actually placed at the right at the entrance of the house, and also it is known as a place to socialize, relax, and also greet guests. Relax, which means like reading newspapers, books, a place to sit and relax as well. And Anjong is actually the main living room for mainly for male members of the family. So Anjong is also used to welcome the non-Maharam members. And also it is a place to organize gatherings and rituals to be held, and a formal place to greet the guest. And the next one is the Ibu Rumah. Ibu Rumah is the secondary main living room. So it's a semi-private space for females to conduct their household activities. And also it is a place to conduct the preparation of childbirth. And the next one is the Selang. Selang is a walkway for the female guests to access Serambi and Ibu Rumah easily. And the next one is Serambi. So Serambi, if Anjong is occupied, Serambi can also be used as a space for gatherings. So, and Serambi is a space where it is more focused for the female members of the family. And it is also a place to pray and also recite Al-Quran. So this is the linear organization of the house. As you can see, like I explained that on the previous Crete session, it's a little influenced by the modern architecture, where a smooth interaction can be taken between the insiders and also outsiders of the house. Also, the design exposes the user to the exterior view and also surroundings. So, okay, this is the path configuration. Later, doctor, I'll remove the renovated part. So this is actually east circulation around the house with a straightforward direction. It is not 100% straightforward, but from the point from Anjong until the Serambi, it has a clear pathway of the house for the users to use. And also the secondary path leads to less important spaces such as bedroom, the particular bedrooms. And so,
How about the zoning, Divya? Zoning.
uh,
Like I said before this, the homeowners and the guests, which part is public, which part is semi-public?
the doctor, can I make it as a part of hierarchy?
Did you cover it in that topic?
Yeah, I wanted to put hierarchy together, doctor, but since there's only like one level now, so I thought I shouldn't include hierarchy in this.
But the thing is on the, I think it is more on the zoning. It has its own
Zoning.
topic. For instance, like I said before, which are the areas that guests can enter? Usually they can only enter until the main house, Ibu Rumah, or until the Anjong. And then perhaps for the Ibu Rumah, they have to get something which is more closer to them. Perhaps their relative only. But the Anjong and veranda is the neighbor, something like their neighbor or their friends. Okay, for Ibu Rumah, it's more on the relative.
Okay, doctor. So I will add zoning as a part of the. So is it it's supposed to be a separate title, right, doctor? Like it's not a part of the path configuration or the linear organization, right, Doctor?
Yes, perhaps you can just put it as zoning, and then you can use the diagram, the one that you put in color code, right? So the zoning, for instance, Anjong is in yellow color, and then for the bilik, for the room, it is already private area.
Okay, Doctor. Okay, thank you, Doctor.
But guys, are you using this one for your plan? I
No,
I thought
no,
you
Doctor.
are not going to use all these. You have the toilet over there, but it's after the renovation, right?
No, not this, Doctor. Later we take from the SketchUp one.
Okay, alright.
Uh, okay. So then it's about the vernacular influence on the house. So the house was designed according to the local environment and also material resources. So first of all, the use of timber, and then there is a lots of openings for ventilation for this house, and then the stilts that catches high velocity wind to flow within it, and also the ventilated roof attic allowing stag effect. So I will also explain the more about the vernacular influence in the presentation board. So I'll show the graphs. So this is the rough PB board arrangement of the um, first it's the social culture on top, and then the spatial planning, the plan in the middle, and then the explanation at the side of the spaces, and then the linear organization, and then the part configuration, and also the um, explanation of vernacular influence on Rumah Encik Nazim's house.
But
And then,
but because this one you haven't put in scale, right? So
I haven't, Doctor, haven't.
so I think because this one is too big. But after this, if you are putting all those things, you try to make sure there is no empty. There is not too empty.
Okay, Doctor, sure, Doctor.
Okay.
Okay, and then as for the model, so since I'm doing spatial planning, so it would be something like this. And with the scale of 1 to 50, the materials that are used is balsa wood, maybe a thin plywood or a modeling board. And then since there is some space openings to show the ventilation, so maybe can use a thread to show the flow of ventilation. Yep. So that's all from me, Doctor. So the next presenter is Amir.
Are you going to do the model without the roof?
It's yeah, Doctor, because I wanted to show the spaces, how it looks, the spaces inside the house, like every single spaces.
Or some of the some part of it can be with roof.
Some
It is
part can be with roof.
try to figure out ways on because it is quite incomplete if you are putting like this. For instance,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, wait, let's say there is one small roof over here.
Mm-hmm.
So this one can be put. So all the other spaces can also be seen, but this area is only covered by roof, for instance. It's okay because you haven't choose the one that you are going to do the model, right?
Yeah.
So after this, try to make it so that this one is complete one, and then this one can be something which is only showing the plan,
Okay, Doctor.
right?
Okay, can, Doctor.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all from me, Doctor. Next is Amir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. For this part, I will cover about environment. I will touch a little bit about site inventory and passive design. So site inventory, the proposed site at nearer to Sungai Kedah, and you can see in a radius of 1 kilometer, there is a commercial zone, agricultural zone, cultural zone, residential zone, and recreational zone. So basically, Pantai Johor is mainly a residential zone. Next slide, please. So here is the softscape around the house. Yellow coconut tree. The tree height. The characteristic is high species because over 20 meters. Second one is bamboo, low species. Then kachu tree, medium species. Banana plant, low species. Harum manis in front of the house, medium species.
This one in what year? I mean, is it 2019 or is it starting from 1960?
The softscape I don't really sure.
Because you take it from the measure drawing, right?
Kalau directly ambil dan from measure drawing 2019.
Okay.
Hmm.
Can you get the information about 1960?
Okay.
You try lah.
Okay. I will
Okay.
try.
Mm.
So the next slide, please. So here is the average temperature in Alostar. The y axis is cover about is to about a month, and the x axis about degrees. So on average, the temperature in Alostar is always high. The warmest month is at February. So hence this explain why rumah Encik Nazim was built using timber materials, as well as having many ventilation features, because the temperature at that location very high. It's always high. So here is the average rainfall amount in Alostar. Alostar always receive average amount of rain throughout the year, coupled with high temperature. So Alostar humidity percentage is low. This climatic factor allows the paddy to be cultivated in a healthier manner. So it also can be seen that measures were taken to prevent water from flowing into the house during heavy rain and floods, as Rumah Encik Nazim. Because the rainwater occur highest at November and December. So here about
But I think Amir's one is very general. I think you should be earlier. Tadi cakap kan the flow of presentation, it should start with the general information before you go to this specific building. Okay, so yours perhaps you are the second board kot. Baru Divya akan cerita about the house.
okay.
Okay, doctor.
Right?
So here is a bit of prevailing winds that coming from northeast and southwest. The peak prevailing wind come from northeast and southwest. Next slide, please. And here also the sun path. The orientation of the building, the most opening is facing the path of the sun. So it not good.
Which year did you get this data?
This one 2019 also.
Okay. Itulah because this house is constructed in 1960, right? So
Yeah.
the climate perhaps they have some changes
Yeah.
throughout the years. So I'm not sure whether this can be valid because the construction of the house is not basically based on this climate.
Hmm.
Faham tak?
Faham.
So there are things that you need to you can just ignore,
Okay.
right?
Okay. So let's here is the passive design. Mobile Encik Nazim uses double slope roof or use core gable roof, which allows a proper ventilation within the attic and to expel the rainwater to the ground. So here, the figure shows that the ventilation joint also called pata, the inlet from the both side of the house that coming through in the attic, then expel the hot air through range vent and table layer.
Okay.
And because as we all know, hot air, the mass of hot air lighter than cool air. So the way they expel the hot air by using this approach. So the next one. So here is also passive design. At the back and at the south side and east side of the house, giving shading at the open area, and also create opportunity to do activity. Uh, uh, for example, like social culture that Divya told us about tadi. They play games around the house. So this natural shading device can shade them lah. So can do activity system. So ada some water element Sungai Kedah, cooling system, evaporation plus wind velocity that can yeah that bawa we will apa tu the cooling lah to the house water element and shading device cucuk atap to shade the house from receive that direct sunlight and also uh, achieve required thermal comfort and cross ventilation because many opening allow fresh air circulate inside the house. Sisip mati here and sisip angin at the top of every wall, maximize the implementation of cross ventilation. And wooden fence create boundary to split up between privacy and public areas because the beside of this house is a secondary road. So they to create a boundary ada pokok dengan ni lah fence. So the next one. Yes. Here we cover structure and construction. Yes. This one sama as before. So no need to. Slide please.
Oh, next slide.
So here is the roof material. Meranti Surya SPP. So the characteristic has durability, high tensile strength, heat resistant, water solubility, and insect resistant. All these kind of materials easy to get because in our tropical climate. So the finish of the roof, corrugated asbestos cement sheet, and for the roof roof capping, using clay roof capping. Slide please. For the floor, beam and floor joists, they're using merbau. For the kayu floor finish, they're using kayu jati. Next slide, please. So here's a bit of roof and floor specifications. Here, floor specification from seven floor specs. With dimensions and material uses. And roof also meranti rafter thick meranti kolam. Next slide, please. So here is the roof and floor details. You can see the number one here at the fascia board. That's when called tanggam sambung jari, or in English we call comb joint, that connect between two fashion board.
Is the SketchUp is done by your group?
Yeah.
I think this is missing structure over there on the roof. Right? And how about the batten?
Oh, yang
Sorry, batten is there.
rafter
Okay.
tu. Rafter ada depan sikit. Dia not apa? Dia not inline lah. Not inline. Dia
Oh, so dalam ni ada this one?
ada.
Okay. Can you cut so that you can see both? This one kan, you have the rafter over here kan? And
Yeah.
then you can also see this one. So the way you cut this thing,
Okay.
section cut.
Okay.
Okay, try to figure out ways so that you can see both. If not, it is something is like incomplete over here, right?
Okay. The second one is tanggam paru burung, bird's mouth joint. That put rafter onto beam, tie beam. They create a bit of space there, the slot. So number 3, tanggam lekat penjuru runcing the rafter. They smash with a nail, smash with a hammer, and with a nail. Call it tanggam lekat penjuru runcing, oblique halving joint. And for number 4, tanggam lekat palang. Also the same way, smash with a nail and create some slot to put together. Next please. So number 6, here, tanggam sambung lekap, connecting between sub beam and beam. Actually, tanggam sambung lekap is number 5. Sorry. Then number 6, tanggam puting, tie beam. Apa tu? Common tanggam.
What is the number 5 showing?
Number 5, actually number 5, 6 is number 5. Tanggam sambung lekap is number 5.
What I mean is, where is it? Is it on the ventilation?
No. That one is showing the beam and sub beam. The connecting between beam and sub beam.
I mean, on top of the ceiling, is it?
Yes. On top of
But
the sisik mati.
So it should be somewhere over here, is it? No, because you are showing this way. I want to ask, is that in here on the ventilation panels, the number 5? Or it is located above this ceiling?
Above the ceiling.
Okay, so perhaps the way you show it,
Okay.
how to make it more clear, the location of each tanggam. Okay, try to figure out ways on how to show this one, because it is quite confusing. I thought it is somewhere on the ventilation panels, right? Okay.
Next time I just read off the ceiling lah.
Can do. So only one part of the so you can maintain the ceiling over here. Try to figure out ways on how to show it over here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So the next one, number 7, kasar lintang to put on the pulling or batten. Like smash off. Habis lah. To put the pulling or batten. So number 8, tanggam tebuk. The number 1 here, that with a slot here, that is column. The brown one is floor joist, and the horizontal one is um floor beam with a wedge to to make it structure more stronger, stable and stable. Next slide, please. So, and the number 9 is tangkam scarf.
Ame, I think what you have done is good already, but perhaps in your presentation boards later, you need to try to figure out ways on how to differentiate between the roof and the floor details, because you are trying to put everything here kan, dia macam quite confusing. So try to figure out ways on how to try to this try to differentiate these two, roof, floor.
Okay.
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 I'm not sure how do you are going to put it so that it can be clearer. Okay, you have everything over here, but please make sure that it is easy to understood, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Betul.
Sorry, my baby. Right.
Okay, number 10 also wish to stable the floor finish dari jati tu.
And
Bagi tak gerak.
even I think you can just show the construction of the roof. Not necessarily you have to put all these section details, section perspective. Okay. Tak apa, lepas ni nanti you tengok balik how you want to rearrange those things. Okay.
So next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, not killer perspective, but perspective. At the front of the ni.
Kenapa nampak pelik ah? What
Sebab
kind of
dia
perspective?
not parallel, dia bukan perspective view, dia parallel view. So dia macam the angle tu.
Distorted. Suddenly you show this underneath of the building. Tak nak lah macam ni. Reject. Okay.
Tapi apa yang saya nak tunjuk sini, sense of welcoming for guests ada kubah tu, to portray the Islamic influence and cosmos element implemented on the table layar.
Alright.
So next slide, please.
Is that called as a sun rays? In Javanese punya culture, there are sun, dipanggil sinar matahari. Nanti tengok balik the name of that pattern.
Sekejap there. So here is rough idea about composition. Inventory atau so then itulah.
Ataupun try to relook back. Perhaps you can have this section perspective because you have done this one, so it's okay. Perhaps this one is the bigger section perspective, and then you have the separation between these two. The roof construction only showing the construction of the roof, and then you have this floor construction showing the gelagar, joist, beams, columns, and so on. Perhaps because this one is not in scale yet, right? So perhaps the picture can be smaller. You haven't put it in scale, so I think you can do this one. You put try to differentiate this one.
Okay. Okay, that's all for me. I will pass to Hazmi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ame.
Right.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. So I will move on to the last topic, which is I will cover on the vertical components. So the first one is I will cover about the column. So as the previous slide that I presented, this is the column information. So the one that I have updated is the number of column, the total number of column that is used in the original building is only 24 based on the original before renovation, and also the construction of footing where they use timber sheets to put the concrete before to put around the column before pouring the concrete. So this is the function of the column. So next, Divya. So this is the previous presentation. It's the components wall. So as I said that this house has horizontal plank walls and also vertical plank walls. So the updated that I've done is next Divya. Okay, it's about the construction of the wall. So I will be doing the pop up and also the exploded for the mechanism and also the jointing for the wall components, where I spread out the components that included in the construction. So these are I will also explain the function of the jointing and also the mechanism. So next is about the door. This is on my previous. As you can see that the doors is made of timber, and also the jointing is also made of the tangam jointing. There are three types of doors that I've researched. The number one is single flush door. The second one is double flush door, and the third one is double swing door. So next, Divya. So these are the total number is the total number of doors is 17 doors. So I will going, but the main doors is that is categorized in this building is only 3 doors. So next, this is for the window where I emphasize the louvers. So I will be explode the will show the how the mechanism and the jointing works for the next slide, Livia, which is the component where the louvers are made, which is made of Meranti wood. So I will blow up the details. So the next, so for the staircase, this building has 4 staircase. So this is the veranda as I rendered and uh, I rendered and put it here. Okay, next.
But you are going to use the one which is on the 1960, right? So
Yeah,
is it the
yes.
same four staircase?
Yes. It is the 4 staircase that is built
Original
from
from 1960.
yes 1960.
Okay.
Yes. So this is the second staircase, which is the main entrance. So these are the details and jointings where they use tangam, where the baluster will fit into the amortizers, while for the risers of the staircase they use the nails to connect the baluster and steps together as one piece. So next, same goes to the staircase for Selang, but add on the concrete steps, 2 concrete steps on the bottom of the staircase. This is the section for Selang staircase. So the final one is next. This is for the dapur or kitchen, where the joinery system for the tenant uses of tanggan lekat palang cross halving joint aligned with the mid-rails and tanggam sambung lekat, which is half lap joint at the bottom of the staircase. So I will be blowing up the details and explode it for each component on this staircase. So for my last slide, which is the overall of my presentation board. So in the middle of the board, I'm not going to put the 3D perspective. I'm only put the one that I'm going to emphasize, which is the walls and also the doors, because I'm covering the vertical components, which is the doors, windows, louvers, and also column. So for the first step, I will going to introduce the vertical components of all the functions and also the material used for the components. and also how they treated the components to stay longer. And so for down below here, I will emphasize all the four staircase where all the blow-ups and details are shown there. So that is all from us. Thank you.
How about your physical model?
Okay, so for my physical model, I will be doing I've bought the balsa wood and also balsa sheet. So I will be doing on the components which is windows and doors. I will only take the part that I'm going to do, which is only the windows, the columns and also the jointings, not overall of the buildings.
So which part of the house?
The main part of the house that I'm going to emphasize is the wall part,
Okay,
where the
I think it's better if you take the facade one because it has this arch over here. The
okay,
gerbang, the arch. Let me conteng.
okay,
If you take from this area, you also have this arch, right? With the
okay,
pattern, and then you can get all these things and doors and windows too, right?
oh,
And the
okay,
walls. So there are a lot of things that you can that can be inserted in your physical model, not
okay,
only on
doctor.
the walls and windows and opening only, right?
Okay, doctor. Understood.
Okay. So
All right.
are you the last presenter?
Yes. Oh, doctor, one question. So, is it okay that I only take the only this part that you have highlighted with the purple, only this part only? So the back part, I just ignore it because there's no what do we call that? There's no specific that I want to emphasize on my topic.
What I mean is, this one is only for your physical model.
Okay.
Your board, it can be, you need to put all these things which is related to doors and windows. For instance, you are also having the doors and window at the back area, right? That
Okay.
one can be put in your presentation board. But for the
All right.
physical model, you can only touch on this front area, for instance.
Oh,
Because the front
okay.
area, you can also see the walls and windows and so on, right?
Okay. How about my staircase, doctor?
Staircase.
As you can see, this only two staircase is highlighted on the physical model. So
Ah.
I
But this
just do separate.
is this original staircase, the one that they have in front.
Yes.
Okay, I think you need to check back the plan and see how you can get all these things
Okay, doctor.
because you cannot get this timber staircase right from this area.
Yes. From the
Nanti
selang and dapur.
nanti later you check the plan and then see
Okay.
how you can configure ways on doing it, or else you just provide two things. This one is for the facade. It includes the doors and windows and the walls and the concrete staircase, and then you need to do another timber staircase. You take from the selang only the staircase.
Okay, so I will do separate staircase.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It can be done, right?
All right, doctor, no problem.
All right. I think we have come to this the end of the session. Can everybody turn on the camera, please? All right. It's still dark over here. Sekejap. I buka lampu. Kejap doktor. Guys, can I see all these handsome and beautiful faces? Usually you didn't switch on your camera during the lecture, right? How many of you switch on your camera in all lectures? Nobody. I heard last semester the work-based master only see their students' faces during the final assessment. So I don't want to be that kind of work-based master. I want to see you in every class. All right. So I think I have jotted down some of the information that you have missed in your overall presentation, and that's why we have all this kind of presentation today, because I want you to learn from each other. Okay. Group 1 is learning from the group 2, group 2 is learning from the group 3, and so on. And then did you jot down the things that you have missed from others' presentation? Okay, so I hope so. Especially okay, I think the one that you miss in overall is more on the social culture part, because this project 1 is mainly talking about all this social culture, the surrounding context, and so on. But those are the things that that are really missing in your whole presentation. You are to focus on the architecture part of the building, right? So how about the surrounding? That's why I'm asking you, who is the owner of the building? What do they do in their daily life? What are their occupation? What are the social status of this owner in their community? Right? Because it is reflected back to their architecture of the house. For instance, you were talking about this house, this most, okay, for instance, Masjid Teluk Manuk, the most in Teluk Manuk, Patani, Thailand. You know that Patani, they have a lot of Islamic preachers that they also travel to Malay land and so on to give the religion thought and so on, right? So those are the beginning of Islamic teaching in Malay land. It's come from the Patani and so on. So that one is very important information that you want to mention in the most, for instance. Okay, so those are the things lah. And then for the social culture, okay, let's say the Shiragawa. Shiragawa, is it? Am I pronouncing it right, Mahu? Is it Shiragawa?
Shirakawa.
Shirakawa, right. For the Shirakawa, okay, that are the things that are still missing lah. Because you are not talking about this location that I said before. It is located in between the hills area, and why do they need to breed horses instead of cows and sheep and so on? Why do they need these horses? And the horses is also they put it inside their house, which means that the relationship between the horses and the house owner is very close. Okay, so why do they need those horses? Is it the main animals that they use in their daily life as transportation? Okay, so those are the things lah. Those are the things on the social culture part. And then most of the presentation you have not mentioned about the references. Okay, very rare. I don't think I see any references. If you are taking it from Kalam, you need to mention measured drawing of Masjid Teluk Manuk, Kalam measured drawing, sorry, Kalam UTM, and in which year they did this measured drawing. Same like the measured drawing that has been done by who did the measured drawing for the last group? UIA, is it?
Taylor.
Taylor's
Oh,
University.
Taylor's. Okay, Taylor's University. So you need to get the references. Measured drawing of Rumah Encik Nizam, Taylor's University in what year, right? And also seem like Shiragawa House. So where did you get all the references? Okay. And then on the cultural belief, this one is also related on the social culture. For instance, Masjid Teluk Manuk, the most of Masjid Teluk Manuk in Patani, Thailand, they are very related to the culture of Islamic teaching. Okay. And then for the Japanese one, what are the culture of Japanese people, especially in the rural area, on the hilly area, what do they do and so on? And what are the beliefs? For instance, for if I may use cultural belief of Chinese people, they have the belief of feng shui, right? So they try to avoid sharp edges. Is it right, Kali? What what else? The house should face rivers. Is there any in feng shui?
Toilet cannot toilet at the first floor cannot Macam downstairs
Apa?
is the place we put our patung-patung kat sana.
Okay, so that is one of the belief in Chinese.
There's still got a lot.
Right. So all of these ethnics and races, they have their own belief. Like Malay one, usually we cannot our prayer direction cannot be in front of the toilet, for instance, right? In Islamic teaching. So those are the things that you need to cover on the cultural belief. And then you were talking about the odd numbers. In Islamic teaching, the odd numbers is because of the God is one, right? So it add the additional values to your study, right? And then the floral pattern, which is used by the Malay traditional houses, because in Islamic teaching we cannot use all these animal and figures in our in the decorative patterns and so on, right? And then what else? And on the zoning, I think you haven't touched on that. Even masjid, perhaps the zoning is not really crucial because it is a public building, right? So everything is public. But for the house, especially for the Shiragawa and also the Rumah Encik Nizam, they have this kind of zoning for the private, semi-private and also public. Even the I think Mahu, you can cover on this one. On the spatial arrangement, you need to divide it into the private and public space. Where can the guests enter? Where cannot the guests? Where can you avoid the guests from coming in? For instance, a room, a master bedroom is very private. You cannot ask the guests to enter the master bedroom, right? It is only for the homeowner, right? What else? Mm, I think, and then on the Japanese Shiragawa, you haven't touched on this. I think this one is for Mirza. You were talking about doors and windows, but you forgot about these walls. Yeah, so please check the walls that you use for the horse place and also the walls that you use for the entire house, right? And then the most important thing, like I said before lah, the flow of your study. For instance, you need to start off with the general information first, and then you scope down until you get into the detailings and patterns, for instance, right? So after this, please you get back to your group and then try to make sure there is no redundancy and try to make sure that the flow is nicely done so that we can understood it better, right? I think that's all that I have jot down here. So thank you very much for your hard work for today. I think everybody has already, at least you have prepared all the presentation nicely for today. Okay, so hopefully for this upcoming Thursday, you will be better and you will be more organized, right? And then on this upcoming Thursday, you will have the presentation by Dr. Lim Yong Long on the at 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock, and then after the presentation by Dr. Lim Yong Long, you will have to enter the seminar. So can we set a deadline for you to submit your Miro link? Can you just give me the Miro link at 12 o'clock and then I check it offline. I just put the comments on my room. All right, because at 2 o'clock you will have your another presentation by AR Azman, which is very interesting. I went to his house before this. He can do something like the timber if curve. How do they use the timber and then they make it a curved house using timbers, right? That is very interesting. You need to listen to his presentation. Okay, can we agree to submit the link, Miro link on 12 o'clock on Thursday?
Can.
Alright.
Boleh,
Mahu,
Doktor.
Mahu can you Mahu? 12
Yes.
o'clock is 1 o'clock at your place, right?
Yes.
How about in Bali, Abi? 12 o'clock here is what time in Bali?
Bali has the same time as Johor, Doctor.
The same exact time. Oh, alright. Sorry, my baby is crying now. So I think, do you have any question to ask? Or all right. So I think thank you very much everyone for your participation today. So all the best for your upcoming Thursday. And I think class dismiss here. I'll try to put all the presentation here in YouTube so that you can really watch and then see all the comments. All right. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Doctor.
Bye.
Thank you.
Alright.